Hello everyone. Today's case is invasive ductal adenocarcinoma, X-pleomorphic adenoma of lacrimal gland. We will start with clinical history. 52-year-old man presented with 1 month history of decreased vision and progressive left periorbital fullness with proptosis and lateral deviation of eyeball. Whole eye was congested and there was marked periorbital edema. MRI of the face revealed a large space occupying lesion in the medial aspect of left orbit. Incisional biopsy was done. Tissue was received as multiple small pieces of soft tissue, all together measuring 1 into 1.5 into 1 centimeters in size, and the whole tissue was processed. 52-year-old male showing lateral deviation of eyeball, mild proptosis and congestion. There is marked periorbital edema. There appears to be swelling of the medial end of the upper eyelid with prominence of vein. Microscopic findings. Left periorbital soft tissue mass showed soft tissue diffusely infiltrated by a moderately differentiated carcinoma arranged as nest, small groups or cords. Many cystically dilated ducts were lined by multilayered neoplastic epithelium. Tumor cells had moderate to high-grade cytologic atypia, pleomorphism, prominent nucleoli, and many mitotic figures. Foci of tumor cell necrosis were scattered in the tumor. The stroma showed areas of fibromyxoid material and pseudocartilage formation. These findings indicated the adenocarcinoma to be arising from a pre-existing pleomorphic adenoma of the lacrimal gland. Here we can see a highly malignant tumor infiltrating the stroma as nests or sheets. Focus of comedotype necrosis can be appreciated. Here we see malignant cells arranged as groups and cords with no glandular differentiation. A cystic area filled with necrotic material is present. Some areas show ductular structures lined by multilayered epithelium resembling ductal carcinoma of salivary gland, which in turn resembles infiltrating duct carcinoma of breast. In this field, one can see highly pleomorphic nuclei with prominent nucleoli and high mitotic activity. Another area shows highly pleomorphic cells lying in a vascular space. In some areas of the tumor, stroma was fibromyxoid in character, and some areas show pseudocartilage formation reminiscent of pre-existing pleomorphic adenoma. All the discussed histopathological features are suggestive of invasive ductal adenocarcinoma, X-pleomorphic adenoma of lacrimal gland. Differential diagnosis: poorly differentiated carcinoma of sinonasal origin. Location of the tumor and presence of highly atypical pleomorphic nuclei can lead to diagnosis of poorly differentiated carcinoma of sinonasal origin. However, presence of fibromyxoid and pseudocartilaginous change in the stroma indicate towards presence of pre-existing pleomorphic adenoma. Second DD is metastatic adenocarcinoma, likely from the breast. Because of the resemblance of the architectural pattern of the tumor with infiltrating duct carcinoma, diagnosis of metastatic adenocarcinoma from breast can be considered as one differential diagnosis. However, this diagnosis can only be considered in cases with primary breast carcinoma. Even then, presence of fibromyxoid stroma is characteristic of pleomorphic adenoma, which helps in differentiation between the two entities. Now a little bit of discussion. The lacrimal gland is an almond-shaped, bilobed eccrine gland embedded in the superolateral aspect of the orbital wall and is composed of small lobules of seromucinous acini separated by connective tissue. Lacrimal glands are sometimes considered a type of minor salivary gland and share histologic features with the main salivary glands. Lacrimal gland tumors constitute 5 to 25% of all orbital malignancies. Epithelial neoplasms are the most common, followed by lymphoid and metastatic lesions. Epithelial lesions comprise around 50 to 60% of all benign and 40 to 50% of all malignant lesions. Carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma is a rare malignant transformation of a benign primary pleomorphic adenoma in lacrimal gland. Lacrimal and salivary pleomorphic adenoma and carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma have shown similar clinical and genomic profiles. Carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma of lacrimal gland has a 5-year disease-specific survival rate of 37 to 44%, which is lower than most other salivary gland tumors. Patients with pleomorphic adenoma experience an insidiously enlarging painless swelling of the orbits over the ears. Those with transformation to carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma experience a rapid onset of bulbar enlargement, displacement, and proptosis. In salivary gland carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma, HER2 amplification plays a significant role in the progression of the tumor and is associated with the worst prognosis. However, such data about prognosis and role of targeted therapy is not available for lacrimal gland tumors. Lacrimal gland tumors are staged based on the TNM staging system and are assigned a grade based on the same criteria used for salivary gland tumors. Histologically, carcinoma X pleomorphic adenoma can show picture of adenocarcinoma, mucoepidermoid carcinoma, epithelial myoepithelial carcinoma, acinic cell carcinoma, adenoid cystic carcinoma, and rarely ductal adenocarcinoma. Invasive ductal adenocarcinomas of lacrimal gland are generally primary tumors arising de novo. Rarely they can arise in pre-existing pleomorphic adenoma. These tumors histologically resemble ductal adenocarcinomas of salivary glands and breast. These tumors may be non-invasive, microinvasive, or invasive in nature, depending on the infiltration of the stroma by the tumor cells, similar to DCIS and invasive breast carcinomas. Ductal adenocarcinomas carry very poor prognosis and have no standard protocol for treatment. Highlights of the present case: middle-aged men with bulbar displacement, tumor made up of islands and ducts resembling ductal carcinoma of salivary gland and breast, tumor cells showing high-grade nuclear atypia and marked stromal infiltration, stroma showing areas of fibromyxoid and pseudocartilaginous change. Thank you.